One sentence can make her feel desired for hours, and most men never learn it. Folks, let's be real. You've given compliments before. You told her she looked beautiful. You said she had a great smile. She smiled back, thanked you, and nothing changed. No spark, no tension, no lingering interest. Just a polite moment that disappeared as fast as it came. My friend, that's because most compliments don't create attraction. They end it. Women hear surface praise all the time. It registers as noise. What actually stays with her are words that touch her mind, stir her imagination, and make her feel seen in a way that feels personal, intimate, and slightly dangerous. Most men never learn this. They praise what's obvious instead of what's felt. They speak too clearly, too safely, too predictably, and in doing so they remove all mystery, all tension, all desire. The result is comfort without chemistry. In this video, I'm going to break down 4 compliments that work very differently. These are not pickup lines, they are psychologically grounded phrases that flip attraction quietly without chasing or performing. Used correctly, they make her curious, pull her closer emotionally, and leave her replaying your words later when you're not even there. Stay with me, because once you understand how to compliment her energy, her mind, and her presence, your words stop sounding nice and start feeling unforgettable. Let's get into it. Number 1. Why most compliments kill attraction. Folks, let's be honest with ourselves. Most compliments don't create attraction. They shut it down. Not because they are rude or wrong, but because they are predictable. When you compliment what is obvious, you signal that you are reacting, not leading. And reaction rarely creates desire. Here is the pattern most men fall into. You see a woman you are attracted to. You feel the urge to express it immediately. You say, "She looks beautiful, stunning, amazing." She smiles, says thank you, and the moment ends. My friend, that smile is not interest. It is politeness. The interaction peaks and dies right there. Compliments kill attraction when they remove tension. They put everything on the table too quickly. There is no mystery left, no curiosity, no emotional movement. You gave her certainty before she earned it, and certainty without investment feels flat. Let me ground this in a real situation. Brian is 46, living in Dallas, recently back into dating. He meets Amanda, 41, at a casual networking mixer. Within minutes, Brian tells her she is gorgeous and has an incredible smile. Amanda thanks him warmly. They talk a bit more, but something shifts. Her energy cools. Later, she tells a friend, "He was nice, but I didn't feel pulled in." Brian did nothing wrong. He just gave away too much too fast. Now contrast that with another moment Amanda described. She once spoke with a man named Eric, 49. Instead of complimenting her looks, he paused and said, "There's something about how you carry yourself that feels calm but sharp at the same time." Then he stopped talking. That line stayed with her, not because it flattered her, but because it made her think. She wondered what he saw. That curiosity changed the dynamic. Most surface compliments fail because women hear them constantly. They do not separate you from the noise. Stoic philosophy reminds us that value comes from restraint. Seneca warned that excess dulls appreciation. When praise is excessive or obvious, it loses weight. Another issue is timing. Compliments given too early feel unearned. They suggest you are impressed before connection exists. That flips the power dynamic immediately. Instead of two people discovering each other, you become the one seeking approval. Let's call this out plainly. Compliments that kill attraction focus on appearance without context. They seek validation. They rush intimacy, and they end tension instead of building it. Think about Paul, 52, meeting Denise, 47, for a first coffee in San Diego. Paul spends the first 10 minutes complimenting her outfit, her hair, her eyes. Denise feels seen but also evaluated. The conversation stays safe. There is no spark. Paul wonders why. Compliments that work do something different. They point to something subtle. Energy, presence, perspective. They invite her to lean in, not sit back. They leave space after the words instead of filling it with more explanation. Stoicism teaches control of impulse. Marcus Aurelius wrote about pausing before reacting to impressions. That pause is powerful here. When you slow down your praise, you shift from approval-seeking to grounded observation. If you have been there before, comment, "I see this now." Stay with me, because this is just the beginning. In the next part, we break down the psychology behind dangerous praise, the kind that sparks curiosity instead of killing it. Don't go anywhere. Number 2. The psychology behind dangerous praise. Folks, let's get grounded for a moment. Dangerous praise is not about saying bold words. It is about activating uncertainty in a controlled way. Most compliments feel safe, obvious, and complete. Dangerous praise does the opposite. It opens a loop in her mind and lets her curiosity finish the work for you. Here is the psychological core. The human brain is wired to resolve what feels unfinished. When something is clear and closed, the mind moves on. When something is hinted at but not explained, the mind stays engaged. Dangerous praise works because it does not land as a conclusion. It lands as an invitation. Most men praise to express. Dangerous praise observes. There is a huge difference. Expression is about releasing your feeling. Observation is about naming something subtle without defining it. When you observe and stop, her mind leans forward. She starts asking herself what you saw, why you noticed it, and what it means. That internal dialogue is where attraction deepens. This is why generic praise fails. It answers everything. "You are beautiful" explains nothing new. It closes the loop instantly. Dangerous praise leaves space. It says, "I noticed something, but I am not handing you the explanation." That space creates tension without pressure. Stoic philosophy supports this restraint. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to pause before reacting to impressions. That pause is powerful. When you resist the urge to explain or impress, you demonstrate self-control. Self-control signals confidence far louder than enthusiasm ever could. Dangerous praise also shifts the power dynamic subtly. Instead of seeking her approval, you position yourself as someone who is discerning. You are not handing out validation freely. You are noticing and evaluating. This does not put her beneath you. It creates balance. And balance feels grounding. Another Stoic insight fits here. Epictetus taught that strength comes from mastering impulse. The impulse to over-explain is what ruins most moments. When you feel the urge to clarify your compliment, that is the moment to stop. Silence is not emptiness, it is weight. Here is where many men get confused. Dangerous praise is not teasing or negging. There is no insult, there is no manipulation. The danger comes from ambiguity, not aggression. It makes her feel seen without being fully understood. That combination is intoxicating. Psychologically, this works because identity is personal. When you comment on something internal rather than surface level, it touches her sense of self. But when you leave it undefined, she fills the gap with meaning that matters to her. That personal investment is what makes your words linger. Stoicism teaches alignment with nature. Human nature leans toward meaning. Dangerous praise respects that by not forcing interpretation. It allows meaning to arise naturally. Seneca warned that excess dulls appreciation. Too many words kill impact. Fewer words sharpen it. Delivery matters as much as content. Calm voice, unrushed pacing, eye contact. Then stop. When you hold silence comfortably, you reinforce the message that you are centered. That calm presence amplifies the effect of the words you just spoke. This is why dangerous praise stays with her. It is not because it was clever. It is because it activated her mind instead of pleasing it. It made her participate instead of receive. If this clicks for you, comment "I see deeper." Stay with me. In the next part, we break down how the right compliment can linger in her mind long after the moment ends. Stay with me. Number 3. Compliments that linger in her mind. Folks, let's slow this down and look at what really makes a compliment stay with her. Not for the moment. Not just during the conversation, but hours later when she's driving home, brushing her teeth, or lying in bed replaying the night. Compliments that linger do not flatter, they echo. Here's the difference. Most compliments are received and forgotten. Lingering compliments are experienced and revisited. They do not end when you say them. They start working after you stop talking. And that only happens when your words invite her mind to participate. Let's be honest. A compliment that lingers is never complete. It points to something, then steps back. It notices without defining. That gap is important. The mind hates open loops. When you leave one behind, she closes it herself, again and again. Take a real example. Jason is 44, living in Nashville, meeting Michelle, 39, at a friend's low-key house party. Conversation is relaxed. At one point, Jason looks at her and says, "You have this way of being present that feels rare these days." Then he smiles lightly and changes the subject. Michelle doesn't respond right away. She doesn't need to. That sentence follows her for the rest of the night. She wonders what he meant, when he noticed it, why it mattered to him. Compare that to another moment Michelle mentions later. A man once told her, "You're really beautiful." She appreciated it. She forgot it 10 minutes later. Not because it was wrong, but because it was complete. Nothing for her mind to do. Compliments linger when they point to identity, not appearance. Energy, mindset, perspective, the way she moves through a moment. These things feel personal. When you notice them without over-explaining, you make her feel seen without being pinned down. Another example. Robert is 52, from San Jose, on a second date with Claire, 47. They're talking about work and life. Claire shares a small story about standing her ground at her job. Robert listens and then says, "You're more self-controlled than most people I meet." He doesn't praise her courage or strength. He names a trait. Then he lets it sit. Claire feels something shift. That word stays with her, self-controlled. It becomes part of how she thinks about herself around him. This works because lingering compliments trigger self-reflection. Instead of reacting to you, she turns inward. She checks herself against what you noticed. That inward movement creates emotional depth. And depth is where attraction grows for mature adults. Stoic philosophy aligns perfectly here. Marcus Aurelius wrote about observing without judgment and speaking with precision. When you choose words carefully and sparingly, they land with weight. Seneca warned that excess language weakens impact. The fewer words you use, the longer they stay. Compliments that linger are also timed well. They come after some interaction, not at the start. They are earned through observation. When you speak too early, it feels generic. When you speak after noticing patterns, it feels intentional. Let's be practical. Say less. Name something subtle. Then stop. Do not explain. Do not justify. Let silence do the rest. Silence is what allows the compliment to sink in instead of bounce off. If you've seen this in action or felt it before, comment, "I feel this now." Stay with me. The next part breaks down the exact kind of praise that sparks curiosity and pulls her closer without effort. Let's keep going. Number 4. The praise that triggers curiosity. Folks, let's be blunt. Curiosity is the gateway to desire. When a woman becomes curious, her attention shifts inward. She starts thinking, wondering, replaying, and praise that triggers curiosity does not tell her who she is. It suggests something about her and then steps back. That space is where attraction quietly grows. Most men praise in a way that answers everything. You're smart, you're beautiful, you're interesting. Those statements close the loop immediately. There is nothing left for her mind to do. Curiosity dies the moment certainty appears. Praise that works does the opposite. It opens a loop and lets her curiosity finish the sentence. Here is the psychological key. The human mind is drawn to the unresolved. When something is hinted at but not explained, the brain keeps returning to it. That is why certain songs, scenes, or conversations stay with us. Dangerous praise uses this same mechanism. It notices something real, but it does not define it completely. Instead of saying what she is, you point to what she evokes. You shift from description to perception. That subtle move changes everything. When you say something like, "There's something about how you see the world that feels different," you are not giving her an answer. You are inviting her to explore what you noticed. Stoic philosophy supports this restraint. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to speak only what is necessary and let silence carry the rest. Restraint sharpens impact. Seneca warned that excess language weakens effect. When you say less, what you say lasts longer. Curiosity-driven praise also flips the dynamic without confrontation. You are not asking for approval. You are not trying to impress. You are calmly observing. That places you in a grounded position. She feels seen but not evaluated, interested but not secured. That emotional state is powerful. Another Stoic idea fits here perfectly. Epictetus taught that mastery comes from controlling impulse. The impulse to explain is what ruins curiosity. The moment you clarify your praise, you remove its power. Holding back is not manipulation. It is discipline. Tone matters here. Calm, unrushed, almost casual. You are not leaning forward emotionally. You are not waiting for a reaction. You deliver the praise and move on. That tells her something important. You are centered. You are not fishing. Curiosity praise also works best when it is connected to behavior, not appearance. The way she handles a moment, the way she listens, the way she challenges an idea, these are personal but not invasive. They touch identity without crossing boundaries. There is another reason this works so well with mature women. It respects complexity. It does not flatten her into a compliment. It acknowledges depth without trying to own it. That respect feels rare, and rarity creates pull. Stoicism teaches alignment with nature. Human nature leans toward meaning. Curiosity praise respects that by not forcing interpretation. It allows meaning to arise naturally in her time, in her mind. Here is the rule to remember. If your praise makes her ask herself a question, it will stay with her. If it answers everything, it will be forgotten. If this clicked for you, comment "I spark curiosity." Before we move on, a quick note. If you want deeper breakdowns, examples, and private content that goes beyond what we can share publicly, consider joining the channel membership. That is where we work on applying Stoic discipline to attraction, communication, and self-mastery at a deeper level. Stay with me. The next part shows how praise can make her open up emotionally without pressure. This is where things start to shift. Number 5. Words that make her open up. Folks, let's be real about something most men miss. Women don't open up because you ask better questions. They open up because they feel understood before they explain themselves. The right words don't push her to talk. They give her permission to. Most men try to open a woman up by digging. They ask too many questions. They probe her past. They look for depth by forcing conversation forward. What that usually creates is resistance. She answers politely, keeps things surface level, and stays guarded. My friend, openness doesn't come from pressure. It comes from safety mixed with curiosity. Words that make her open up do one specific thing. They reflect something back to her that she already feels but hasn't put into words yet. When that happens, something inside her relaxes. She thinks, this person gets it. And once that thought lands, talking becomes natural. Let's look at a real situation. Andrew is 47, living in Portland, meeting Laura, 43, for a second date. Laura mentions she enjoys her job but feels drained by it. Andrew doesn't jump in with advice or questions. He pauses and says, "It sounds like you're capable of a lot more than what that role lets you express." Then he stops. Laura exhales. She starts explaining her frustrations, her ambitions, her doubts. Andrew didn't pull that out of her. He mirrored something she already carried. Compare that to another date Laura described from the past. A man kept asking, "Why don't you just change jobs? What's stopping you? What do you really want?" She felt interrogated, not understood. She stayed guarded. The difference was not interest. It was delivery. Words that open her up, focus on emotional patterns, not facts. You're not asking for information, you're acknowledging experience. That acknowledgement makes her feel seen instead of examined. Here's another example. Daniel is 52 inches, New Jersey, having dinner with Monica, 48. Monica tells a story about setting boundaries with family. Daniel listens and then says, "You seem like someone who's learned to stay calm, even when it costs you something." Monica goes quiet for a moment, then shares a deeper story about her past. That single sentence unlocked it, not because it was flattering, but because it was accurate. These words work because they lower defenses. Stoic philosophy aligns with this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote about meeting others with understanding rather than judgment. When you reflect without evaluating, people feel safe enough to reveal more. Another Stoic idea fits here. Epictetus taught that we cannot control others, only how we respond. When your response shows presence and insight, not agenda, openness follows naturally. Timing matters. These words land best after she has shared something small. You listen, you notice a pattern, then you reflect it back simply. No over-explaining, no fixing, just recognition. One warning: do not stack these statements. One is enough. Say it then, give space. Silence is part of what makes her open up. It shows you are not trying to extract anything. Think of Mark, 55 inches, Santa Fe, talking with Elena, 50. After a reflective comment, Mark lets the moment breathe. Elena continues on her own. That continuation is her choice. And choice is what makes openness meaningful. If this resonates, comment, "I listen deeper." Stay with me. The next part shows how certain compliments quietly shift the power dynamic without force. This is where attraction becomes unmistakable. Number 6. Compliments that shift the power. Folks, let's be honest about power for a moment. Power in attraction is not dominance, and it is not control, it is positioning. Most men give compliments from a lower position, even when they don't mean to. They praise upward, they admire, they validate, and in doing so they quietly hand over leverage before anything real has formed. Compliments that shift the power work differently. They don't put her above you. They don't put you above her either. They bring the interaction back to balance where attraction can actually grow. Instead of saying, "I hope you like me," they communicate, "I'm aware, I'm present, and I'm discerning." Here's the psychological shift. Most compliments are approval statements. They say, "You meet my hopes." Power-shifting compliments are assessment statements. They say, "I'm noticing you, and I'm still deciding." That subtle difference changes the emotional dynamic immediately. When a compliment includes discernment, it signals standards. It tells her your attention is intentional, not automatic. That creates respect. and respect is what allows desire to deepen instead of flatten out. Without respect, attraction becomes fragile. Stoic philosophy speaks directly to this. Epictetus taught that strength comes from not being ruled by desire. When you compliment without attachment, you demonstrate inner command. You are not chasing a response. You are simply observing and expressing what you notice, then letting it stand. Compliments that shift power often sound slower, calmer, and less polished. They are not rehearsed. They land like a thought spoken out loud, not a line delivered for effect. That authenticity is important because power cannot be faked. It is felt. Another key element is self-inclusion. Instead of placing her on a pedestal, these compliments include you as an equal participant. They reference how she affects you, not how she ranks. That keeps the dynamic human grounded and emotionally balanced. Stoicism emphasizes this groundedness. Marcus Aurelius wrote about standing firm without arrogance and engaging without submission. That balance is exactly what power-shifting praise embodies. You are open but not eager, interested but not dependent. Many men fear this kind of compliment because they think it risks rejection. In truth, it reduces risk. When you are not seeking approval, rejection loses its sting. That calm confidence is felt immediately. It tells her she is interacting with a man who knows his footing. Another Stoic insight applies here. Seneca warned against emotional excess. Overpraising is excess. It reveals hunger. Power-shifting praise is restrained. It says enough, then stops. That restraint adds weight to every word. It's also important to understand what this is not. This is not teasing. It is not negation. There is no insult hidden inside. The power comes from neutrality, not provocation. You are not trying to elicit a reaction. You are allowing one to happen. When power shifts this way, something interesting occurs. She becomes more attentive. Not because she feels challenged, but because she feels engaged. The interaction becomes mutual rather than performative. This kind of compliment works best when your tone stays calm and your body language stays relaxed. You say it, then move on. No explanation, no justification. The absence of follow-up reinforces the message that you are not fishing. If you recognize the difference here, comment "I hold frame." Stay with me. The next section shows how the right words can create real tension, the kind that turns attraction into something felt, not forced. This is where the dynamic becomes unmistakable. Number 7. When praise creates sexual tension. Folks, let's be clear about one thing. Sexual tension is not created by saying sexual things. It's created by saying less than what you could say and letting the rest live in the space between you. Most men talk attraction to death. The men who create tension know when to stop. Praise creates sexual tension when it touches desire without chasing it, when it acknowledges attraction without trying to secure it. That balance is rare, and it's why certain words don't just flatter her, they stay under her skin. Here's where most men go wrong. They think tension comes from boldness, from pushing, from escalating verbally too fast. In reality, tension comes from restraint, from awareness, from letting her feel the possibility without being rushed into certainty. Let's look at a real situation. Ryan is 46, living in Los Angeles, meeting Natalie, 41, for a second date. There's chemistry, laughter, comfort. At one point, Natalie leans back, crosses her legs, and holds eye contact a second longer than usual. Ryan notices and simply says, "You have a way of looking at people that makes them forget what they were about to say." Then he smiles and takes a sip of his drink. He doesn't add anything. Natalie laughs, but her body shifts. She feels seen, not exposed, just felt. That moment carries a charge because Ryan didn't explain or escalate. He let it hang. Compare that to another date Natalie mentioned later. A man complimented her body directly, early and often. She knew exactly what he wanted. The tension disappeared. There was no mystery left. What could have been felt became obvious. Sexual tension lives in implication. When your praise hints at attraction without naming it outright, her imagination does the work. And imagination is always more powerful than description. Another example. Thomas is 53 from Boston on a quiet evening walk with Claire, 48. They stop at a crosswalk. There's a pause. Thomas looks at her and says, "There's something about you that makes moments slow down." Then the light changes. They keep walking. Claire doesn't respond immediately. Later that night, she texts him first. That sentence stayed with her because it wasn't about looks or desire directly. It was about effect. And effect creates tension. Sexual tension also depends on timing. Praise that lands too early feels forced. Praise that lands after connection feels earned. Stoic philosophy aligns with this idea of timing. Marcus Aurelius wrote about acting in accordance with the moment, not impulse. When you wait until the moment is right, your words carry weight. Another key point is tone, calm, unrushed, grounded. If your voice is seeking a reaction, tension collapses. If your voice is steady, tension builds. Women feel the difference immediately. Sexual tension praise often includes you without centering you. You reference how she affects the space, the moment, the energy, without demanding anything back. That keeps the dynamic open. She doesn't feel pushed, she feels invited. Think about Michael, 50 inches, San Diego, having dinner with Laura, 45. He says, "You're trouble," in a very quiet way. Then he changes the subject. Laura feels a spark, not because the words were explicit, but because they suggested something unfinished. That's the rule. If your praise feels finished, tension dies. If it feels unfinished, tension lives. If this makes sense to you, comment, "I feel tension. Stay with me." The next part shows why mental attraction beats flattery every time, and how words aimed at her mind create desire that lasts longer than chemistry alone. Number 8. Why mental attraction beats flattery. Folks, let's get something straight. Flattery feels good for a moment, but mental attraction stays. Compliments about looks fade because they are passive. Compliments that engage her mind create movement. And movement is what attraction needs to grow beyond surface interest. Most men default to flattery because it feels safe. You tell her she looks great. You admire her style. You praise what anyone with eyes can see. That kind of praise doesn't challenge, stimulate, or invite depth. It lands, gets acknowledged, and disappears. Mental attraction works on a different level. It makes her think. And when a woman starts thinking about how you see her mind, she starts thinking about you. Mental attraction is created when your words recognize perception, judgment, and perspective. You are not praising her appearance. You are acknowledging how she processes the world. That hits deeper because it touches identity, not image. Identity is where lasting desire lives. Here's the psychological reason this works. The mind values recognition more than validation. Validation confirms what is already obvious. Recognition reveals something personal. When you recognize how she thinks, decides, or interprets situations, you signal that you are paying attention beyond the surface. That attention feels rare. Rarity fuels attraction. Stoic philosophy understood this long ago. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of reason and inner character over external appearance. When you speak to someone's mind, you align with what actually lasts. Beauty changes. Intellect, perspective, and judgment endure. Compliments that touch those areas feel meaningful, not disposable. Mental attraction also changes the emotional dynamic. Flattery puts her in a receiving role. Mental attraction invites participation. She wants to explain, clarify, expand. She leans in mentally. That engagement deepens connection without effort or pressure. Another Stoic insight fits perfectly here. Epictetus taught that we should value what is within a person's control. Thoughts, choices, and principles are within control. Looks are not. When your praise focuses on what she chooses and how she thinks, it feels respectful and grounding. That respect amplifies desire instead of cheapening it. There's also a subtle power shift that happens. When you flatter, you give approval freely. When you engage her mind, you show discernment. You are not handing out compliments, you are responding to something you noticed. That difference changes how you are perceived. Mental attraction also avoids a common trap. Flattery often creates performance. She feels the need to maintain an image. Mental attraction creates authenticity. She feels safe being real because you are responding to who she is, not how she looks. Authenticity is deeply attractive, especially for emotionally mature women. Another reason mental attraction lasts longer is memory. People forget what you say about their appearance. They remember how you made them think about themselves. When your words give her a new way to see her own mind, they stick. Stoicism emphasizes clarity over excess. Seneca warned that too much praise weakens its effect. Mental attraction relies on precision, not volume. One thoughtful observation carries more weight than 10 flattering remarks. Delivery matters here. Calm voice, neutral tone, no expectation. You are not waiting for a reaction. You state what you noticed and move on. That lack of attachment reinforces confidence and self-control. Mental attraction is also sustainable. Looks-based praise burns out quickly. Mind-based attraction grows with conversation, experience, and time. It evolves instead of repeating itself. If this perspective resonates, comment "I value depth." Stay with me. The next part shows how the right compliment becomes something she replays later, long after the moment has passed. This is where words turn into memory. Number 9. The compliment she replays later. Folks, let's talk about the kind of compliment that doesn't end when the conversation ends. This is the compliment she replays later. Not because it was loud or clever, but because it landed quietly and kept working. Long after you're gone, it resurfaces. And when it does, it brings your presence back with it. Most compliments are tied to the moment. They live and die right there. She hears them, acknowledges them, and moves on. The compliment she replays later works differently. It attaches itself to memory. It becomes part of how she remembers the interaction, and more importantly, how she remembers you. Here's why that happens. A replayed compliment doesn't describe her. It changes how she sees herself. It gives her a new lens. When a compliment subtly reframes her identity or highlights something she hadn't fully named before, her mind revisits it. That revisiting creates attachment. Let me give you a real example. Kevin is 50, living in Minneapolis, meeting Jennifer, 46, for dinner after being introduced by friends. The conversation is relaxed and thoughtful. At one point, Jennifer talks about balancing her career and caring for her aging parents. Kevin listens, then says, "You handle responsibility with a kind of calm most people never develop." Then he lets the moment breathe. Jennifer doesn't respond right away. Later that night alone, that sentence comes back to her. Calm responsibility. It reshapes how she sees herself around him. Now, contrast that with another compliment Jennifer mentioned from her past. A man once told her she was impressive and strong. She appreciated it. It never came back to her mind again. It was complete. Nothing left to explore. The replay effect happens when your words sit just below the surface. They don't demand acknowledgement. They don't seek validation. They simply exist. And because they exist without pressure, Her mind returns to them naturally. Another example. Stephen is 43 from Raleigh, talking with Monica, 38, during a long walk after dinner. Monica laughs about how she overthinks decisions. Stephen smiles and says, "You think deeply because you care about getting things right. That's rare." Then he changes the subject. Monica feels understood, not judged. Days later, she catches herself smiling, replaying that line. It changed the meaning of something she once criticized about herself. Compliments she replays later often do one of three things. They name a strength hidden inside a flaw. They recognize effort instead of outcome. Or they acknowledge a pattern instead of a performance. These angles feel personal, and personal things linger. Stoic philosophy aligns with this idea of depth. Marcus Aurelius wrote about seeing things as they truly are, not as labels. When your compliment cuts through labels and touches essence, it sticks. Seneca warned that shallow praise fades quickly. Truth spoken calmly endures. Timing matters here. These compliments land best after she has revealed something real. You're not guessing, you're responding. That makes the compliment feel